welcome. First of all, I just wanted to ask you, what brings you here to the protest, and what do you feel that you are standing for?
I am standing for the fact that as a white person, I have a high responsibility to stand up against the way that we are seeing white supremacy expressed through the systems that are being put in place and the systems that are being destroyed by the current presidency.
In the United Methodist Church, when we are baptized, we take a vow to resist evil and oppression in every form they present themselves, and I take my vow very, very seriously.
I love that. Now, online, I wind up getting accosted by a lot of people who wind up saying that Donald Trump has been sent by God and that he's the one who represents a true Christian. What do you have to say that would prove that that type of ideology wrong?
Well, we say that a tree is known by its fruits, and so it doesn't matter what you say in terms of having faith. If it seems like it obviously has a political agenda, I'm going to look at the fruits and see if you are bearing the fruits of the Spirit, which are love, kindness, patience, gentleness. We're going to see if you are bearing the fruits of the Spirit, and if you're not, then it's not. It feels to me more like this is politically convenient for people to say.
Right. I mean, I agree. I can't know the mind of God, so I could never say that what is and isn't God's doing, but I think that we can see what creates good and love and kindness, and if it is not that, then I don't believe it's from God.
Beautiful answer. That's sort of what I wrote on Twitter. And considering I'm not even a religious person, but as someone who knows a little bit about Christianity, you would think that Jesus walked the line that he had walked in order for the good of the people to prosper. He had come together and wanted everyone to come together as one in unity out of that love. Do you think that a protest like this will bring maybe some of that love out of those who may be following a different path?
I think that Jesus always went to the margins. He went to the places where people weren't being heard, where they were being pushed down and pushed aside. And so I think that this is the kind of space that Jesus would be in if he was here. And I think that he would be calling to the folks that are pushing the margins down to come and join him. So I don't know if it will get through, but I believe in the power of the Holy Spirit. I believe that it can break through even the biggest walls and the strongest delusions. So I believe that all things are possible, even in these discouraging times.
And I think that it's easy for people who are harmed by this administration's policies to think that they're alone, or to think that the world, and especially Christians, and especially white Christians, don't care about them. And so for me, an event like this and us showing up to events like this can show them that there are people out there who care and are willing to fight for them, that we can be a face that reminds them that Jesus did care for them, that Jesus would have marched for them, that hopefully we can be that reminder.
Well, thank you for the interview, and thanks for the insight. We really appreciate that.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity.
All right, so what brings you here to a counter-protest to a Donald Trump visit?
Where do I start? The racism that I feel that he exhibits throughout the country against black, against LGBT community, against everyone that stands for common decency in America, I think he stands against. That's why I'm here.
All right, cool. Why are you here?
My thing is, for the past 25 plus years, almost 27 years, I've served in the United States Air Force. I can't believe that I've been to 26 countries, and now 44 years of my life, now I'm here fighting the same fight that my grandparents fought in 1930, 1940s, my great-grandparents. My grandfather was murdered on a Sunday morning by fascists just like this, in the front of his congregation at church. It kills me that all these years later, almost 87 years later, I'm now standing fighting the same fight that he fought.
And what brings you here, especially as a woman? What is it that you would like to fight either against or for?
Fighting against, definitely. It's just the atmosphere that's been created with him in office. It's just downhill. It's creating racism. It's creating hate, not love, and it's just closed-mindedness all the way around in different walks of life when we should all be coming together. Like my husband said, it's just we're going backwards in time instead of forward, just having him in office in these few short months. So we need to change that. And the only way we can do that is all of us, all colors, all races, stand together and have a common voice in it. And that's what we're here for.
Now, it's funny because you've probably heard where they say, nah, Obama's the most racist president. He's the one who has divided the country. Now, we probably know a lot better because we know that it's been divided since 1619 when we were dropped off on the shores of Virginia. But what would you like to say to some of the people who want to say that Obama was way more divisive than Donald Trump is?
I got one thing to say to that. First slave landing in America, 1619. Slavery was supposed to end in 1865. You tack on another 100 years of Jim Crow, that takes you to 1965. We didn't get the right to vote to 1964. So you want to blame all that on Obama? Nah, partner, it doesn't work that way. I'm not my grandparents. I'm not dumb enough. I'm not stupid enough to believe that you're stupid enough to believe that bullshit that they saying out there. So no, that's how I feel about it. You're not going to tell me that Obama was the most racist president when he's the first black president ever. So where are all the laws that was enacted to disenfranchise an entire race of people? All the lynchings and hangings in Mississippi, because that's where I'm born and raised. So you gonna blame all that on Obama? No, we're gonna blame that on what that is. Old white men, that's what it is. That's what it's always been. That's what it continues to be in this day and age. So nah, that doesn't go down like that. So again, I'm not at that point in my life where you can just pull the wool up. You can't piss on my back and tell me it's raining.
Hey, that's real. That's real. I don't even know what else more to say about that. But then, you know what, lastly, what is it that you want the other side to know about why you are standing here? What is it you want them to know?
Love, not hate, pretty much. That sums it up. If everything's done in love, we won't have all this stuff happening. That's what it sums up to.
What I want them to know, I want to know from them, why are you standing over there? We standing over here look at the signs that you see around here, and then look at over there, and look at the signs that's over there, and look at the mindset that's over there. I want to know why you're over there when we're supposed to be in a country where we're together. All the years that I spent in the military, I fought for this side, not for that side. What has he done that makes me feel comfortable at night, lay down comfortable at night, that I don't have to worry about us taking a 50-year step backwards?
Yeah. No, it's so much, I mean, you can't, in a 5-minute soundbite, it's hard to really express what you truly feel. The one thing I can say is the jobs I've done in the military were classified, obviously, but I have so many worries with so many problems that we have. We have two divisive sides right here on this street right now. I think about North Korea on a night like tonight. I sit and I read and I watch a lot of what's going on around the globe, and everyone, is like, we're America. We're America. Nothing can break us down. As I start to look at what's going on globally, domestically, I think of David and Goliath. And we say, well, we don't have them to worry about. But it takes one nuclear bomb to get through. Our THAAD system has not been proven. We've never had to shoot down a nuclear weapon. That's like shooting a bullet in the sky. Where I'm going with that is simply this. If that terror were to approach our shores, look where we're doing right now. If that terror were to approach our shores tomorrow, are we going to be this divisive?
There'd be no color line. There'd be no color line. There'd be no color line. So let's not forget that. Anyway. Man.
I was in New York when 9/11 happened. And the day after, everybody had an American flag out there. It almost seems like there has to be a tragedy for people to wind up coming where there's no race involved, where it is a united front.
Even with that, we will unite for about 90 days.
Exactly.
Hey, everybody got back on the Kobe bandwagon faster than we get back on the bandwagon. Because our memories are so short. There was a time when we would come back in uniform from anywhere abroad, and man, people would look at us a certain way when we walked through that airport, and it made you feel good about what we did. We're at a point now when we walk back in our uniform, people snub their nose. And the problem that I got with that is I watch people walk around with freaking flags and freaking guns. It tells me how freaking patriotic they are, and you ain't ever put a uniform on, just like the man that's serving in the White House. You've never tried to fight for this country that we have all these rights, privileges, and people are dying for. But you ran to Canada when it was your turn. When it was your turn. But now we're allowing someone who's running from his responsibility to run the country. Come on, man.
And look, we know we can go in here deep, but I just want to thank you for the interview that you said and the words that you got, because I'm with you on all that. All right, thank you. All right, what's up? This is Zod from the Zod and Drea podcast, and we're about to interview. This is what? What is the name of your group, and who you guys represent?
Yes, so we're the cast of 1070 The Play, which is a reenactment of what happened here in 2010 when SB 1070 was passed and a bunch of families were torn apart. It centers around one specific family. I play the lead daughter, and this is my family and some protesters in the back. And so basically what happens is we follow this family as one of the daughters gets deported. And so in the play you get to see how policy was made, how the business people talked about it, how actual families were able to go through it. And the best thing about it is that it's an inclusive play, meaning most of the cast is people of color and people that have actually experienced it. So we have all either had family members that were deported or we know friends that were deported. And the last showing for this play is going to be this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Black Theater Troupe that's on Washington Street. And we're basically here in solidarity with the rest of us. Donald Trump and Joe Arpaio represent two political pollution officials that have really destroyed lives here in the state for not only immigrants and Mexicans, but every other person of color. So, yeah.
So how do you guys all come together as one, especially in your play, to show the solidarity between everybody who's Latino who has been affected by 1070 and the way that this whole crowd is now pretty much supporting your cause? How do you wind up feeling and coming together as a family like that? Anyone want to answer?
Well, we think it's just really powerful just to be here and just see this, be a part of this, add another voice to the story. Everyone here with the play, every time we have like shows, we have talkbacks, we have people from the community come out and talk to us, and it's so moving, the stories that they have of just people crossing, people involved with helping immigrant children come over, so it's just a big part of that, adding to that.
And now lastly, we see all the people out here in protest of Donald Trump, his policies, and how it hurts people. A lot of us have been telling him this since even before 1070, before he got into power, before the rise of Nazis or the neo-Nazis and the alt-right right now. What's the message you want to tell to all those people now in support of everyone that you have done from SB 1070 and beyond with the power behind your play? What do you want to tell all of the people who are here supporting you in your efforts?
I just have to say this movement is about unity, coming together, and it's about dismantling ignorance. You know, all those people, all of those Nazis, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, their viewpoints come out of misunderstanding and information that's been misconstrued to them over the course of their entire lives. And so our goal isn't to fight them, it's to educate them and to hopefully disperse the overwhelming sense of ignorance that they have within their minds, and hopefully open up their hearts to new experiences and to new people, and just accepting everyone for who they are and living a harmonious life.
Thank you. And just one more time, could you guys tell us about the play and when it is? I know you already did in the beginning, but could you tell us about the play, when it is, and where people can be able to find it?
Yeah, we're at 1070. We were strangers once, too. We were going to be playing this weekend from Thursday up until Sunday. We're going to be at the Helen K. Mason Theater, Black Troop Theater, and we have tickets online. You can check us out at newcarpa.org, and you can get tickets on there, and you can get them at the box office as well. It's newcarpa, NEWCARPA.org.
Perfect. All right, thanks, guys, and congratulations on everything you're doing.
People, they get beat the fuck down, so you're wrong.
This idea of beating and just vindicating yourself by beating other people is what's wrong.
Hold on. All right, hold on. I'm going to interview. Just give us a second.
What is wrong is wrong.
Are you with Trump, too? You guys are all Trump? Can you come in here? Can we interview you, too? Bro, just let me interview. All right. You with Trump, too?
Yes, I am.
All right. All right, hold on. All right, can we get your names?
I'd rather not, but
I'm Robert.
You're Robert? All right, Robert and I'd rather not. What here that you wanted to hear from Trump let me just make sure. Yeah, what is it here today that you wanted to hear from Trump? What is the message that you were looking for?
I'm a qualified Trump supporter. I primarily came here not to listen to what he has to say, but to stand for, we all came here to stand for free speech. Because the Antifa fascists on the left and other affiliates of theirs have been intimidating people. They have been committing violence, political violence against individuals and groups. And whereas obviously I denounce the racists on the right, the white supremacists or the white nationalists, I do not support them. But having said that, I do support anybody's, including their right to peaceful, lawful assembly. But when they're attacked or intimidated, I'm not talking Charlottesville, I'm talking in general, anywhere, or mainstream conservatives are attacked, intimidated, or not allowed on college campuses, that is a fundamental flagrant violation of our constitutional right of the First Amendment, and I stand here in their defense of free speech and the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States.
Okay, so you're here for the free speech part, more or less. Why are you here, and what did you want to hear from Donald Trump today at the rally?
Well, right now, I'm just kind of here to support my president, and I personally wanted to hear a message of new hope. I mean, we're obviously divided right now. I was hoping that he would say something to try to get us together, you know. I know you're looking at me like, come on, man.
I just want to know.
Yeah.
Okay, man, just look. Okay.
Yeah. But no.
Trump cares about this man. He don't care about you. So
He cares about.
you. Shit. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I believe that Trump cares about all Americans, you know, white, black, no matter what you are, no matter where you came from. I think he believes in all Americans. I believe he's fighting for all Americans.
Okay, so if you believe that, now obviously some people feel that Trump is fighting for all Americans, and you know there's obviously a bunch more. There's also a bunch more who believe the opposite. So what is it that people of color who are saying that Trump is a racist and saying that he is not for them, what is it that you hear otherwise, or do you believe that people of color are either lying or that their lies of truth are just being fabricated?
Well, personally, I feel that other people of the community aren't as informed, or maybe I do believe that the mainstream media does twist the words that Trump says or that Trump's cabinet says. And yeah, I mean, if you watch everything, you know, if you watch live interviews and if you watch live coverage, I personally believe that he said enough to make sure that he said that he believes in all Americans, that he's fighting for everybody. You know, he wants to help everybody. He wants to help us here in this country become a better people.
And you as a person of color, what is it that you have a message about Trump that you feel that other people of color are either lying about their experiences or that Trump knows a little bit better to not deem him as a racist as people of color would believe that he is?
Well, their thing, Trump got more ethnic minority votes than the preceding Republican presidential candidate in the last election. So that shows that more black people and more Hispanics voted for Donald Trump. Now, as far as the narrative is concerned, granting the fact that he's a loose cannon and he has said some words which could be handled better, as professional seasoned politicians are apt to do with, he has not made any statements, to my understanding, that can be considered racist. The only one that I know of is the comment about Mexico, and mind you, it was a comment about Mexico. It would be no. You I'm sorry. Yeah. So, I mean, again, anybody can watch that clip. He's talking about Mexico sending those people over here. That is a statement. Again, it is not the best way he said it, but that is not what he called a racist statement. It was not about Mexicans as a people. Secondly, I don't think he is. You look at his life before that. I do not support his lifestyle. He's a playboy. However,
Tell me why. I just want to know why. If you believe that he's not working with us, fuck your interview. No, fuck your interview, nigga. Nigga. No, all I want to know. What do you want to know? If you believe that Trump is trying to pull us together, he should be trying to pull us together. Why do you support him?
I asked the question. The thing is,
after everything that you have heard from Donald
keep
Trump,
recording this. Keep recording this.
Everything that you heard from Donald Trump, how can you vote and stand for somebody like that? How can you vote and stand for somebody like that?
I asked the question. I asked the question, what is it that people of color might not, what people of color, hold up.
He cares about Donald Trump.
We
Donald
know
Trump
that.
don't care about him. Donald Trump and have him at his table.
All right, at what point is anybody going to be yelling that anyone is going to listen to someone yelling? It never works. It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. Now, the one thing that we got to do is we've got to know what they're talking about, number one. We got to know what they're talking about in order to dissect it. Because we already have been expressing ourselves for decades, for millennia damn near. All right, so they already know what we're talking about. But the thing is, I can't beat it into somebody's head on what to say or what to think. Just like in slavery, they tried to beat our beliefs into it. And they succeeded with religion because they succeeded with religion in beating that in our heads. But the thing, in order to understand what this man has to say, I've got to get a calm and a great little presence of what he's saying.
No. How come after everything that has happened in this country, after Charlottesville, after, what's her name, Heather Heyer? I know her name better than I know my brother's name. How come a white person had to die at a rally for some people to really wake up?
You got to ask that to the liberals, though.
But
like, seriously? Because we need to talk to our side also. Because remember, all right, go ahead, man. Because remember, 56% of white women voted for Trump. So we are talking the majority of white women and the majority of white people. So if you look down the street, the majority of white people voted for Donald Trump, which means we are not being listened to.
Donald Trump got up there tonight
right?
and said that he won Arizona by a big percent.
Which is bullshit.
49.9% versus 49.4%.
He lied about his crowd size. He lies about everything. Like, that's what he does. You cannot, all right, see, now I'm getting off script because you cannot believe what Donald Trump says. And if you do, the last thing you can do is get pissed off about it. Good question. Hold on. So good question. Do you believe everything Donald Trump has said?
Well, here's the thing. No, I don't. But I don't believe any politician. I've never believed a Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama or George Bush in terms of what they literally say. So, I mean, that is, I think, it's a fallacious question to ask in the first place. Because obviously, I don't think you believe in any. Do you know of any politician? Do you 100% believe in their words?
Never 100%, but Donald Trump, they have an entire page of his lies in the New York Times printed out. So he lies more than he tells the truth.
So he's not a seasoned politician. Hillary Clinton is a master of lies. You know that I know this. I mean, her whole statement about losing those servers. The fact of the matter is she should not even be allowed to have run in the elections because the law says very clearly, I do not remember off the top of my head, but the section on whichever.
She wasn't found guilty.
No, she was not prosecuted at all. That was a problem.
But she wasn't prosecuted and found guilty. I mean,
right. So but the thing is, the law actually says anybody commits gross negligence in those matters of national security, they are supposed to be prosecuted. See, the thing is, it is very clear in the law. The fact that it was a political movement on part of course, the Obama administration and the Democratic Party to basically, forego that. And of course, Trump also, should have prosecuted her after the fact. But I'm sure for political convenience sake, water under the bridge, he let her go. But she should not have ever been allowed. So the point is, she lied constantly about those servers. On top of that, of course, the Clinton Foundation and the cronyism. You want to talk about neoliberal capital cronyism?
Tell me.
The Clintons are the forefront of that. That is the organization, that they are the people who actually are responsible for, let's just say, whatever it is that you probably oppose. No, I mean, I support free speech and I support free trade for that matter.
Free speech and free trade, everything. But wouldn't you say that there is a problem with somebody who winds up being endorsed by the Ku Klux Klan, which means that there is words that he says about people who would love to string you up, kill you, and this is the side that you are also fighting on?
No, the thing is, I'm not. What I'm fighting for, of course, is right for every individual American to stand up for what their beliefs are, even if they are hateful beliefs, like that of the KKK. However, let's be clear. Okay. So, well, until it gets here. Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is this, that if you remember, the blacks switched the allegiance from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party in the 20s when Woodrow Wilson and others were basically running for president who were outward racist. They switched, in the 30s, they switched to and voted for FDR despite the Great Depression, even though he was an outright racist. So the point is that even though if David Duke or whoever has supported Donald Trump or endorsed Donald Trump, does not change the fact that there are other bigger issues because of which, for instance, when people vote for one side or the other, they're not choosing the whole package and saying everything is okay. They're looking at the bigger picture. And unfortunately, we're all choosing lesser of the two sides. I am a reluctant supporter of Donald Trump, but I see the kind of bigotry, racism, and reverse racism among minorities. You and I both know, Latinos, blacks, I'm an Asian from Pakistan, the hatred of whites that exists, the misogyny that our culture that exists.
Just relax, just keep recording. Here's the problem. Well, it's not a problem. There's no such thing as reverse racism. There's either rape and rape. Racism, racism. There's no reverse rape.
So let me define what
And understand what racism actually is too.
Okay, so you're going to give me the institutional definition of racism?
All right. Look, thanks for your interview. I don't want you guys to get hurt. Thanks a lot.
Amen. Have a good one.
All right.
Thank you. Stay safe out there.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Zod.
And I'm Drea.
And we want you to check out the Zod and Drea podcast every Tuesday.
Where can everybody find us at?
You can always check us out on www.zodanddrea.com.
Where else?
You can always check us out also on Facebook at Zod and Drea.
Instagram?
Zod and Drea.
Snapchat?
Zod and Drea.
YouTube?
Zod and Drea.
I see a pattern.
I see a pattern. So if you haven't caught that, catch us at Zod and Drea on all the social networks. But also, make sure you subscribe to the Zod and Drea podcast. Where?
At zodanddrea.com.
And also on YouTube and iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. We're coming for you.
Let us know what you think. And if you want to be a guest, reach out to us.
And put all of your input into whatever our topics are for the week. So we hope to check you out and see you there.
Bye!